Hi BookTube, my name is Juan, this is Just One Reader, and today I wanted to ask for your help. I want to ask for your help in curating or choosing my TBR for the upcoming weeks that I will have of Christmas break, holiday break, whatever you want to call it. I am going to have a few weeks, at least 2 weeks hopefully, of free time that I can dedicate to reading, which is something that I've been really looking forward to. In case you are new to the channel or you just have no idea, I am a psychoanalyst in training, and that involves a lot of work, a lot of clinical work that I have to do very frequently, and a lot of studying that I have to do, a lot of reading, academic reading that I have to get done, and all of these things are great, but they demand that I make a sacrifice of my reading time, the time that I used to dedicate towards reading for pleasure and reading for this channel. So now that December is finally here, I am getting some more free time than before, and I want to make sure that the 6, 7, maybe 8 books that I get to read during this most wonderful time of year are great. So I want to ask for your help so that you can help me curate my reading for these few weeks so that I can make a good informed decision. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some options that I have already pre-selected from my shelves, and these are a few books that I'm really interested in reading, especially now this time of year. Just to give you an idea, what I'm looking forward to in terms of reading right now for this particular time of year is I want to read something that is warm. I also want to read something that can be gothic and sort of macabre and gloomy. You know, I want to read at least one Sarah Waters or Daphne du Maurier. So I'm going to give you some options in that line. But I want to read something that is atmospheric, something that is very involving, something that will envelop me. You know what I mean? I want to read something that has a great writing style. I want to read something that is something that blows my mind. I want to read something really wonderful. And so I'm going to show you some options. These are different genres, different writing styles, different plots. Some of them are more epic in scope. Some of them are very small in scope. But I want to give you a little bit of information about why I chose these pre-selections. And hopefully by the end of this video, you can leave a comment down below and you can let me know which books you would like me to read or which books you would recommend that I read right now. Okay, so the first book that I really would love to finish finally once and for all is The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman, which is a book that I love. It's one of my favorite books in one of my favorite series of all time. But I've been struggling with this book for a few months now. So I just want to get it over and done with so that I can continue my analysis of that trilogy. So the following are selections that I just chose randomly, and I'm gonna just explain why. The first one is The Overstory by Richard Powers, winner of the Pulitzer. And overall, I think this book needs no introduction here on BookTube. I think it's been very spoken about. It's longer, so I am slightly hesitant, but I've heard great things, and this is, as I said before, more epic in scope, but I feel like maybe holiday break or Christmas break is the perfect time to read something more time-consuming. The next one is quite the opposite. This is very, very, very slim. This is probably something that I can read in one sitting. It is basically a short tale. It is written by Joel Dicker. Joel Dicker wrote the very famous thriller, The Truth About the Harry Caber Affair. And now this has been published. This is a Spanish translation of the original text, which was written in French, and it's called The Tiger. And I know nothing about the plot of this book. The only thing that I really know about this book is that it was written when Joel Dicker was 19 years old, and he submitted this text for some kind of contest, but the judges dismissed him or didn't allow for him to enter the contest with this because they didn't think that a 19-year-old person was capable of writing it. So now that he is super famous, it's finally been published, and I'm really curious about what it is. Then this one is a book that I picked up in London a few months ago, and it was sort of marketed or advertised as British classic, a classic of a staple of British comedy satire. This is edited by Hatchards, which is London's most ancient and one of its most wonderful bookstores, and it's called the Ascent of Rum Doodle. It's beautifully packaged, and yeah, it sounds like a fun British comedy satire thing. Then the next one is actually a play, which is very rare for me. I don't usually go for plays. I usually stick with novels or maybe the occasional short story collection, but this is a play. And this is written by Ali Smith. So this is a play about family, I guess. And it's called The Seer, and it's written by Ali Smith, as I've already said. And I don't really remember much about the plot, but what I do remember is that this was heavily recommended by Jen Campbell, our own Jen Campbell from BookTube, and she's usually very good with her recommendations. I just tend to really connect with her recommendations. This book was very expensive. I had to order it from God knows where, and it was very expensive, so I might as well give it a read. The next one is Maurice by E.M. Forster. This is a book that I picked up at the Strand bookstore in New York because it was part of a selected, at the Strand or in many different independent bookstores, they have these tables of curated fiction, I guess. They usually choose like a topic or a theme or something, and they make a table where they put some selections of literature. And I think this was located in a table dedicated to LGBT fiction. And that sort of struck me as something weird because E.M. Forster is more of a classical, or he's not a very recent writer, right? So it turns out that this book was kind of revolutionary in some ways. It's about this man, Maurice, who is homosexual, and something that really drew me into this novel and made me pick it up is the setting. It is set in England, in Cambridge, during the Edwardian era, and it takes place in a campus in Cambridge, and we follow a character who is homosexual, I believe, and it takes place, no, it was written in 1913, so yeah, it's sort of a very interesting text about homosexuality and identity, and it's set in this gorgeous environment of a campus in England. So I'm really looking forward to reading that, hopefully very soon. So the next one is, I want to read some Sarah Waters, right? Because Sarah Waters, to me, is like the definition of what I usually look forward to in an atmospheric, rich, textured, and beautifully written novel. So I've only read 2 of her novels, but I've loved them both equally. And so I have two more options, and hopefully you guys can help me decide. This one is Affinity, and this one is Tipping the Velvet. So, any thoughts? I would love to know. Then, of course, another author that screams gorgeous writing with gloomy atmospheric settings and strange characters is none other than the queen herself, Daphne du Maurier. Yes, she is one of my favorite authors. I've only read maybe a handful of books by her, but she is just spectacular every single time. And so I need to imbibe on her wonderfulness. Just her writing, her use of character, the novelty that is found in her writing is just wonderful. So this one is one of her novels that I haven't read, and it's The Parasites. And as you can tell from the cover, it's a stage, and it turns out that this is about some people who are siblings, and they are a part of this family of performers. And it turns out that the father of this family was a flamboyant singer, and the mother was a very talented dancer. Now the siblings are pursuing their own creative dreams, but there's some kind of secret in their parents' pasts that they have to deal with. So this just sounds incredible. It's about performers, it's about family secrets, and it's written by Daphne du Maurier. Come on, what are you doing to me? So I'm really excited about that one. Another book that I'm really excited about, and I cannot believe that I am the last person, the last motherfucker, pardon my language, the last son of a bitch on BookTube who hasn't read it. I feel like I'm the last person to read it. Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This is atmospheric. It's set in Iceland, I believe, or Norway, or somewhere. Iceland. Yeah, it's set in Iceland, and you know the plot. Everybody who is on BookTube knows the plot of Burial Rites. I think everybody considers this book to be wonderful. I just haven't. I can't think of a bad review or a lukewarm review. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this, so might as well give it a go. Another one that I am considering, maybe not as much as the others, but I'm still considering it, is Secret Passages in a Hillside Town. This has a beautiful, whimsical cover, and it is written by Pasi Ilmari Jaskalainen, who wrote the Rabbitback Literature Society, which was also beautiful and whimsical. And this seems like very seasonal and very appropriate. But I really haven't heard any reviews whatsoever, so I would love to know if you have any thoughts or comments. And finally, the last book that I am pre-selecting for my Christmas break is Florence and Giles by John Harding. I know that this is more of a creepy suspense mystery novel, kind of gothic and dreary. Is that the word, dreary? Yeah. But I'm very cool with reading something like that during holiday break, Christmas break, as long as the writing is good and as long as it entertains me. And if it is gothic, I will probably enjoy it anyway. So yeah, this is about some orphans and this sort of sinister looking nanny who comes, governess. I love the word governess, you know, it's just such a wonderful word. This kind of sinister looking, menacing governess who comes along and there's like a threat and a malevolent spirit. It just sounds wonderful and dark and gothic. So there you go. Those are my pre-selections for my holiday, Christmas, wintry break. And I would love to read your comments down below, letting me know any thoughts. And hopefully you can help me make a better decision. And when I come back from my break, I will make a wrap-up of what I actually ended up reading and what my impressions were and what my evaluation of my reading was overall. Thanks for watching. I am just one reader, and I will see you on the next video.